Hi everyone, I just wanted to do a quick Lightroom tutorial of kind of my workflow on this image. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to fix the white balance. You can see in the original image she's very pink and very cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my white balance, put it on auto. You can see it puts it at 5300 and 0. From my Photoshop edit, I know that this can stay at 53. I need this at negative 15. Kind of cheating, but it's okay. What you want to do in Lightroom, because you're not going to have the same controls that you can do in Photoshop on checking the skin tones. You just really want to eyeball it. I've noticed most of the pictures that I edit come off having a little too much magenta in them. So to compensate for that, you're just going to add in a green, and you're just going to move this slider. This adds magenta. This adds green. So if your image is looking a little cool, make sure you add in some temperature. You can make it yellow. You can make it blue. Let's put this back down to 53 where it's supposed to be. And we'll put this at negative 15. Skin tones, I haven't found a way to really check them like how I want to in Lightroom. I only know how to do it in Photoshop, and I'll cover that too in a different tutorial. But for right now, I just, like I said, did it on auto, and then I kind of eyeballed it to see what was looking good. We'll probably play with her skin a little bit more because I know I had to in Photoshop before we actually finished the image. But anyways, let's move on. Second thing that I did with the image is I cropped it. I didn't really like the original crop. I wanted to bring it more down on the baby and make her more the focal point. Oops. Let's lock that. That locks, that keeps your aspect ratio for the image. What I like to do is I put her in the left third over here, and to me it's just a much more pleasing crop. In Photoshop I was able to clone out Mom. I was able to clone out the car. Right now in Lightroom I'm not going to be able to do that, so I'm going to change my crop a bit. I am going to bring it in so I can get rid of Mom's nose, which will probably be more like the original crop on what we saw in the ShopTalk group. And let's just play with it just a little bit. I think that's going to look pretty good. So let's double click on that. And that's a more pleasing crop. Like I said, it's not originally, I would like to ideally have a little bit more of the hat here, but it's okay that it's not there. I'm not going to be too picky with it. Second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to play with my recovery slider to try to recover some of this and some of this. So recovery is going to be right here, and we'll just play with it to see. And I'm not too worried about how it changes the baby's skin tone. Whoops. Just as long as it doesn't change it too drastically. Like I said, we can fix that later on. So we're going to put the recovery. 20 looks good to me. It's bringing in a little more detail down here, not as much as I'd like, but you're a little bit limited by Lightroom, but not much. And then it brings in more detail here. And it doesn't mess up the baby skin too much, so I'm okay with that. Next, I like my images to have just a little bit of a contrast pop. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to up my blacks a little bit, not too much. 10 looks good for now. We might come back and play with that depending. And then I'm going to play with my contrast too. We'll add just a little bit of fill light baby skin from what we did with the recovery tool. I really don't like to do clarity. I know some people like to do clarity. I don't like it. I don't like what it does to my images. Sometimes I might add just a little bit of vibrance, not too much. Probably usually between 3 and 5 is what I'll do. Put it at. Let's put this one at 3. I'm okay with that. And it doesn't really do a drastic change in the image. It just kind of gives it just a little bit of a pop. And it's nice. It's subtle, but it makes it look good and clean and simple. Now I'm going to kind of play with my darks. You can see we'll do a little bit of a drastic. You see how it darkens it a little bit. I don't like it that much. I'll put this at probably 7 looks okay. What you can do as well is if you still want to brighten her up a little bit, you can. Let's play with the highlights. No, I don't want to do that. We'll do it a different way later on. So let's just play with the darks. We got that. I'm not really going to do anything with this splitting tone. Not really going to do anything with that. That's more of a creative edit, in my opinion. Details. sharpening. I am going to sharpen the image. And really, I don't really have a set normal for my numbers over here. I just kind of click and go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of click this here. I know 1.5 is usually too much. I like to keep it around 1.3 to 1.4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the Alt key, and then I'm going to press on my masks. Whoops. And pull this here. Let's see if I can get that to back out a little bit more. Oops. There we go. Okay, so we backed out the image. I just clicked on it once. What you do is you hold down the Alt key and the mask. Man, it's not letting me do it. Okay. In Photoshop, in Adobe Camera Raw, you can do that. You can press down the Alt key and do your mask. And what it will do is it will bring the sharpening off of things like this. All I really want it to sharpen is the baby's eyes, her hair right here maybe, and a little bit on her mouth. I don't want it too much. I would say I'd probably be safe around 50. Let's see if I can get it to come up here. Okay, we'll just kind of wing it. When we see it come off of this part and stay on this part, we're good. So black means it's removed, white means that it's staying. You see, let me just back it off just a little bit. I think we should be good. Right there, looks good to me. So, and not too much. There's a little bit of noise, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Anyways, moving on. If you want to, you can play with the noise reduction a little bit. Like I said, I don't have a set standard for what I usually do. I just kind of click and play with it. Let's see. Vignettings. I like the vignette, but on this image I don't like it because you see when I applied the vignette, it just did it over here. And that's not really pleasing to me, so I'm just not going to add a vignette. And we won't mess with that. So that's just kind of the basic edit that I've done so far on here. To keep my video short and to keep your attention span and not piss off YouTube because they don't like long videos, I'm going to stop this one here and then I'll upload it and then I'll come back and we'll do some more editing on here.